Hey everyone, welcome to the Autoimmune Dietitian YouTube channel. My name is Annie Rubin. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, and I run a private practice focused on people struggling with autoimmune and inflammatory disorders. I use nutrition and food and lifestyle to help people get back their lives. So we work on pain, digestive issues, fatigue, brain fog. All of those things can be really helped by changing your diet and lifestyle. So that's what I do. So today we are talking about food additives and how they are inflammatory. So food additives are literally everywhere and they can be so hard to avoid. But food additives and chemicals can be inflammatory for you and are especially rough for your gut health. So today we're discussing how food additives can trigger inflammation, what you should watch out for in terms of additives, and how you can start decreasing how many food additives you eat on a daily basis. Before I jump in, I just need to attach my regular disclaimer to this video that the information in today's talk is not the substitute for the diagnosis, treatment, or care of disease by a medical provider. This is for your informational purposes only, so please consult your qualified health professional for any changes that you make to your medical care. Okay, so what exactly are food additives? Food additives are either chemicals, colorings, or flavorings that are added to food to enhance the taste, texture, or shelf life, or indirectly added to food during the processing and packaging process. They include things like artificial sweeteners, emulsifiers, food colorings, flavorings, and other preservatives and chemicals. So here is a crazy fact. Did you know that there are over 10,000 food additives that are allowed in our food supply, yet very few of these have been properly tested for human safety? And according to the Environmental Working Group, 99% of food chemicals introduced since 2000 were given the go-ahead without any testing. That is nuts. So we could be eating things that really harm our health and we have no idea. No idea. Okay, so how do food additives trigger inflammation? Honestly, our biggest concern with food additives is how they affect our gut. Remember, your gut is connected to practically your entire body system, and a majority of your immune cells actually live in your gut too. The microbiome balance is extremely important for keeping your gut healthy and preventing any inflammatory reaction from occurring. So food additives have the potential to do the following, and this is all backed by research. They can shift the balance in your gut microbiome, which again, if you listen to me, you've seen my posts if you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I talk a lot about gut microbiome balance and how really imperative it is for your health overall. So anything that can shift your gut microbiome is really not great for you. The other thing it does is increases intestinal permeability. So remember, your intestine has these cells that are supposed to be really tightly kind of combined together. And when it's impermeable, you get larger spaces and then things can sneak through and trigger an immune reaction, which again can cause inflammation. And then the last thing is they can increase LPS activity in your gut. So if you saw my video earlier about LPS, we know that these are endotoxins, not great for us. And then lastly, they increase pro-inflammatory cytokines. So these are the things that trigger inflammation, and also cytokines are the things that cause all of these really annoying side effects of autoimmune diseases: brain fog, joint pain, muscle aches, fatigue, you name it. All right, so what are some additives to watch out for? So first, artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are literally, I feel like they're in everything these days because we're so afraid of sugar that we can't get over our sweet tooth, so we have to use artificial sugar to make food palatable. So this includes things like sucralose, stevia, Splenda, aspartame, acetylflame, I can't even say that, potassium. So these are all things that have really been studied and have looked at the effect of what these do in terms of inflammation. So I can tell you, in terms of shifting the gut microbalance, sucralose and Splenda have been found to support the growth of harmful bacteria. Sucralose and saccharin have increased intestinal permeability, as well as acetylamine K. Sucralose, stevia, and sucrose and Splenda have increased LPS activity in your gut. And then Splenda, sucralose, and sucrose also increase pro-inflammatory cytokines. The next thing are emulsifiers. So emulsifiers are are basically used to improve the texture of food. So increase like the thickness, the viscosity, to like help things blend together better. So they include things like carrageenan, carboxymethyl cellulose, which is a pretty harmful one. All the things I listed above, carboxymethyl cellulose does all of those, shifts gut microbiome, impermeability, increases LPS, and increases cytokines. Gums, so like anytime you see the word gum on a label, that is an emulsifier. Sunflower lecithin, and then something called glycerol stearate. Also maltodextrin is another one, which I'll talk about in a minute. But again, all of those, have some role increasing inflammation. And then there's like artificial colors. So a lot of processed foods don't look the way that they do unless they have coloring in them. So we're talking like red 40, yellow 6, titanium dioxide, which is actually banned in 2021 for its use because they found it to be so harmful. The other thing with food colors you have to remember is that they've been connected to hyperactivity and ADHD in children. So that is a problem. Maltodextrin, again, that is in a ton of processed foods that can negatively affect the microbiome composition, and it aggravates gut inflammation. And then other preservatives. So these are added to foods to slow microbial growth. However, common preservatives including sodium benzoate, sodium nitrate, potassium sorbate, all reduce diversity and reduced certain species of bacteria in your gut, which are helpful for avoiding immune-related diseases. Okay, so how can you start lowering your additive intake? If you want to start reducing how many food additives you eat, here are 3, actually 4, actually 5, five simple things you can do. Okay, the first one is read labels. If you're not used to reading labels, please get in the habit of reading a label. You want to avoid foods that have ingredients that either aren't recognizable or anything that I just mentioned above. This includes artificial sweeteners. This includes gums, stabilizers, chemicals, colorings, natural flavors, even those full of chemicals. Like, you really want to try to avoid as many additives as possible. Eat whole foods, okay? Additives are usually only found in processed foods. You do have to be careful with things like sometimes frozen foods have additional preservatives in them, or in canned foods too. So be a little bit careful about those. But generally, if you're eating whole foods, you're doing a really good job. Avoid artificially bright colored foods. They likely contain dyes that may be harmful or inflammatory. Cook more foods at home. I know it's hard. We're busy. I know a lot of you don't like to cook. You never learned how to cook, but there are so many resources out there now to teach you how to cook, and you'll be so much better off. Your body will thank you. Your joint pain, your inflammation will thank you. Even restaurant foods may contain additives and preservatives, so you always just have to be really careful with that. And then the last thing you could do is check out the Environmental Working Group. They have a Dirty Dozen guide to food chemicals for more information on chemicals that you want to avoid in your food. They have a pretty extensive list there, so I would read through that and see, what really kind of you connect with. Okay, so just to recap, we focused on food additives, what they are, how they can increase inflammation, how they affect your gut, and then specific ones to avoid, and what you can do to reduce your intake of food chemicals and additives. So for those of you who would like more help managing your autoimmune disease, your digestive issues, or you just want to reduce inflammation, I would love to chat with you. If you go to the description of the video, you'll hit my either my Instagram or my website. Click on that. It'll direct you to book a free discovery call with me to chat more about your goals. I have a bunch of freebies on my website, and I also put out a weekly newsletter. I put out a lot of great information on managing inflammation with food and lifestyle. So you can subscribe, comes to your inbox every Thursday. If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. You will not hurt my feelings. Lastly, if you enjoyed the video, hit that little subscribe button so you get updates on when every new video comes out. I do these about once a week. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time.